It was a sweltering summer night, and Emily had just finished her shift as a waitress at a diner in the quaint town of Willowwood. As she walked home, the deserted streets were eerily quiet, except for the hum of the streetlights. Emily felt uneasy, as if someone was watching her. She picked up her pace and tried to shake off the feeling. Suddenly, a hand reached out from a dark alley and grabbed her. Emily tried to scream, but the hand covered her mouth. She struggled, but the grip was too strong. She was dragged into the alley and thrown into the back of a van. The doors slammed shut and the van sped off into the night. Emily's kidnapper was a man named Jack. He had been stalking her for weeks, watching her every move. Jack was a sadistic killer who enjoyed torturing his victims before he killed them. He had a special room in his house where he kept his victims, and he was eager to add Emily to his collection. Emily was blindfolded and tied up in the van. She could hear Jack laughing and taunting her. The van eventually came to a stop, and Emily was dragged out and into Jack's house in the neighboring town of Clearwater. She was thrown into the room in the basement, and the door was locked behind her. The room was pitch black, and Emily could hear rats scurrying around her feet. She tried to free herself from the ropes, but they were too tight. Suddenly, the lights turned on, and Emily saw Jack standing in front of her. He was holding a knife and grinning from ear to ear. Jack began to torture Emily, cutting her with the knife and burning her with a hot iron. Emily screamed and begged for mercy, but Jack only laughed. He was enjoying the pain he was inflicting on her. Days turned into weeks, and Emily was still trapped in the room. She was weak from hunger, and her wounds were infected. She knew that Jack was going to kill her soon, and she was terrified. One night, when Jack was asleep, Emily managed to loosen her ropes. She quietly snuck out of the room and made her way up the stairs. She found a phone and called the police from a phone in the nearby town of Pineview. The police arrived and arrested Jack. Emily was rushed to the hospital where she underwent surgery for her injuries. She survived the ordeal, but was never the same. She suffered from PTSD and nightmares for the rest of her life. Jack was sentenced to life in prison, but he never showed any remorse for what he had done. He was a sick and twisted man who enjoyed inflicting pain on others. Emily's kidnapping and torture was just one of the many horrific crimes he committed. The towns of Willowwood, Clearwater, and Pineview were never the same after Emily's kidnapping. People were more cautious and afraid to walk alone at night. Emily's story served as a reminder of the evil that lurked in the shadows and the importance of remaining vigilant.